missed that whole conversation.
Yeah.
This house now. Just saying.
We can't give
Well,
that
it's good.
idea up.
Yeah, I
though.
was going to say, you don't want the world to know about.
That's true. We should keep it under wraps.
Mhm.
It's $1 million idea right there.
Hey.
Stop.
Tightly swaddled, even.
Oh, God.
Yes. Yes.
But I love it. Yep,
Yeah.
100%.
Wicking.
I don't think you're gonna get that idea past the whole team, and just have a suspicion that someone's gonna vote against it. I don't
Someone's
know
gonna
who.
object. Yeah.
It wouldn't
It's not
be
gonna
me.
not me.
It's not gonna be me.
Your pressure works on me. That's all I'm saying.
It won't be an anonymous vote. That way we can shame whoever does veto it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whoever poops on it.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
person.
You
Yep.
can't poo-poo the idea.
Oh my goodness.
That's great.
So sorry, folks. Let me just give you a little bit of context to what the hell is happening right now. So typically, before our show starts, we'd like to spend 5 to 10 minutes just bullshitting as we wait for whoever's on the internet to come on by. So you're in that period. I'm Jason. This is our cast, and we'll talk more about this. Is our cast. I remember directions. We'll talk more about them and what's going on later. But for now, enjoy some harmless bullshit.
Harmless.
Harmless.
Harmless. It's harmless.
Strong,
Is it, though?
strong wording. Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't implicated anyone yet.
Yeah. So I got my wife and I are rewatching the Witcher series, which is just an absolutely fantastic show. I think we're on season 3, and it is wonderful. Have y'all caught that, or have you played any of the Witcher games or anything like that?
I played Witcher 3 way back in the day and immersed myself. I mean, that's a massive game, so played a ton out of it, but I have not watched the show, mainly because sometimes going from video games to like live action just disappoints me every time, so I've been a little nervous to try it.
I've seen the first season and it's good. It's really good.
It is really good.
How did it go? I know they had a lead actor change. Like, how did that look? Or is that
So
upcoming?
That hasn't happened
soon.
yet.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess season 3 just came out, and starting season 4, they're switching the main actor. So TBD.
Ew.
Yeah, that'll be a hard one. That'll be a hard one to swallow. I'll be honest. I don't know how I'll stick through that, or if I will.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, season 3 is fantastic. And like, I went and got the audiobooks for it too, because I was like, I like this so much. And I'm just listening to the first audiobook, and it and the first season of the show are almost exactly the same. Like, it is amazing. Apparently, like, that actor, what's his name? Like
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, Henry Cavill. I was thinking giant, handsome muscle dude, but Henry Cavill.
That works too.
That's his middle name.
He answers to that too.
Yeah, for sure he does.
Yeah, he apparently like quit out because they didn't want to stick to the plot of the books, and he's like, no, too bad.
Yeah, he's a pretty massive fan of The Witcher, from what I've heard.
Quite literally.
Hey.
I mean, every sense. Listen, we love watching Henry Cavill on TV. I'm just gonna.
100%. Yeah, huge fan for sure.
Henry, if you're watching, thank you. We know you're
Really?
a fan.
Mhm.
We love
Thanks-
you
Thanks for
too.
being you.
I was gonna give him a thank you for your service. I love dropping that. Yeah, but anyway,
We'll have some special guest on sometime.
Yeah, it's amazing how well it follows the series, and the book series is just fantastic. Like, I love what they do as far as their world. It's wonderful. So anyway, that's
Schnazzy.
my bet on that.
Speaking of new things that have come out, did anyone else watch is anyone else Star Wars fans? Did anyone watch Ahsoka when it came out? Ahsoka Tano?
Mm-mm. I wanted to. Never got
I'm a
around
Star
to it.
Wars
so
fan,
good.
but I don't know what you're talking about.
Good. The character Ahsoka is from the Clone Wars. I don't know if you watched the animated TV show. It's
Only a
technically
couple
Anakin
episodes.
Skywalker's Padawan.
Okay.
So it's the new series. It's like based on the same time as The Mandalorian and all of those other TV shows. But I was really excited. It came out on Wednesday, the first 2 episodes of the first series, or the first
From what I hear, you really have to watch the animated series to
Rebels.
get the
what's going on.
context. That's what I've heard a lot of people say.
Star
Like, it's
Wars.
not good to start there.
Yeah, Star Wars
Rebels.
is the one to watch. 100%.
I watched a lot of that, and it was fantastic.
I agree. Both of them
What's
were
that?
amazing.
That was just basically about, just like a Jedi and a Padawan, and they travel around in a ship, and they're kind of like rebels. They're straight up, just
I mean,
like
it's
a little team
during-
of rebels.
Yeah, it's during the events of or close to the events of 4 through 6, or 4 through 6, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's semi around that time. It's about
Darth Maul's in it.
a force sensitive kid, Ezra, and then like his gang of, there's a Mandalorian girl, Sabine, and it's really fun.
And I think that the voice actor who played Ahsoka is the actual actor. Yeah.
And
So it's
she's
pretty good.
nails it. It's so good.
Yeah,
Nice.
So
she's
good.
perfect.
I was nervous going into it, but it blew me away. I was very happy with it so far. So
Yeah,
So
all the casting looks great too.
Rebels is part of the cartoon series, right?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
CG. It's like
Yeah. That like
cartoons,
cartoon computer. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's 100% worth watching.
Okay.
yeah, really well written, good storylines. Like, engaging.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. If you haven't
There
watched
you
that,
go.
I'll check out the cartoons. I started to with
Mhm.
my daughter, and then she kind of lost interest. So I'll give it another
Yeah.
try. Now
Well,
that I've
there's
done
like
some of the
15
movies. Oh
So-
Jesus, that's a lot of seasons.
No, there's a lot. Not of Rebels. Rebels is a little shorter, but
hmm
Clone Wars is long. Very lots.
Yeah, if you like the Kenobi story arc, the conflict between Kenobi and Darth Maul, that's some of the best conclusion into that story arc. It's like
Okay.
really, really cool. Really cool.
All right. Well, anyone else have anything before we get going?
Nope.
No. All right. Folks, let's go ahead and kick off another episode of Heroes Die Show. Yeah, so as a start, hey, I'm Jason. You heard about me or heard from me earlier. I'm the game master, so I put together the situations and, problems that our wonderful heroes deal with and maybe do something to make better. Maybe do something to make better. We're joined by our awesome cast. We're going to start on my left with Taya.
That's right. I'm Taya. I play Elspeth, or Essie Pike, in our Best Left Buried campaign. That's a lot of fun. I'm here today to tell you that you should join our Discord. We love to have you for various different reasons. We absolutely love just interacting with any one of our fans on the day-to-day basis outside of our normal streamed games and the chat in there. There's also a couple wonderful things that you get to enjoy, such as we have a Between the Scenes channel where things that don't necessarily happen live in game, they do take place, so don't miss out on that. We have a great DM discussion page that's usually hopping actually quite often. That's a lot of fun. And then today I actually put in a new piece of art that I had commissioned for Essie. It's a stained glass window art piece. It's done by the wonderful Aniris. I hope I'm saying that name right. A few months ago, they popped up on my Twitter feed. Blown away by how gorgeous their art style is. So I commissioned a piece of art from Essie, and I just cannot say enough wonderful things about them. An absolute joy to work with. So fast. Essie turned out amazing, stunning. So I'll drop the link. Please check out, join our Discord so you can check out the link so that you can check out the artists because they are absolutely a joy. So that's it.
Yeah, it looks so good. I was like, I love that stained glass look. I'm not going to forget this time. I'm Paula, and I play Kit in the Best Left Buried series. And I'm here to tell you about our social media. We are on all the platforms. We're on Twitter. I forget that Blue Sky. We're on Blue Sky, right? Maybe? I don't know. Okay, yes.
I'm sure we are.
Okay, and Threads and TikTok and Instagram, and on all of those platforms, you can find us by going to @Heroes Die Show, and we would love to have you support us that way. Also, it's a great way to keep up with what's going on. The TikTok is where I like to post some funny clips of us doing ridiculous things on the show, and the Twitter is where Josh runs all of our schedule stuff and all kinds of cool stuff on the Twitter. So check us out. We'd love to have you.
Yes, and hello, my name is Josh, and I'm playing Zagran Beltune, aka Dalen, and I'd like for you to check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/heroesdieshow, and every month we have something cool coming towards you. You can see what we've been working on. We do a lot of stuff other than just the live stream that you're seeing now. We like to write stuff, make stuff, cool things that you can use at your table, and all the money goes towards helping us bring cool stuff to our table. And if you don't have it right now, I understand times is tough. You can do me a favor another way. Find one friend, some person that you think would like our show, and say, hey, check this out, and share the link. It'll cost you nothing, and then you'll have somebody you can talk with about your conspiracy theories about what's going on in our game. So check out patreon.com/heroesdieshow and or recommend us to a friend.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Quite a bit of content going on. I'm Mike. I'm going to be playing Soleus, Drow Shadow Monk. Loves punching things. And I'm here to talk about our big cartel site. And let me see, what is there to say about our big cartel site? Just a bunch of really wacky stuff. Really cool items. None magic, but we're working on it. Things like, a fantastic mug. Heroes Die mug. Nat 20s all the time. Just one sip. We have things like hats and sweaters and whatnot. And if you want to come show your support for your favorite role-playing team, come do it. Big Cartel.
Nice.
Enjoy.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. All right, so with that, we're going to send you away for an intro video, and when we come back, we're going to give you a sense of what's going on, and we're going to jump right back in with episode 22 of Heroes Die, or Best Left Buried. All right, see y'all in a minute.
Ah, old friend, you're here again. So glad you could stop by. Come, sit a while and let's begin the tale of Heroes Die. In distant lands are stories made with villains most despised. A tale of magic, strength, and blade, of camaraderie and lies. It's one I know quite well, you see. Perhaps you'll find out why. The legends and the histories remember. Heroes Die.
Essie's sweating way more than I am about that.
Oh, God.
Okay, so we are back.
Yeah.
We're back. Hey, folks. So let's hop right back and let's talk about what's going on and what we're seeing, right? So when last we left our heroes, we had the party split up. Kit and Soleus and Calamity were robbing a fortified magic item and artifact warehouse deep in the Imperial Quarter, the guarded section of Icehaven. At the same time, Essie and Zagran had walked right into what some people think is a really was a really obvious trap, and then turns out that the folks they'd gone to meet were actually, you're gonna be shocked, witches, and these witches had double crossed our heroes and had made a deal with some sort of Loth worshipping spider drow demon thing. Essie and Zagrin found themselves on the run, chased through the woods by the spider demon, the witches, flying witches, and a pack of gnolls. And we actually join ourselves where Zagrin is in a bottle, is a bunch of gas, I guess, in a bottle. Smoke. He's smoke in a bottle, in one of Essie's knapsacks. Like, I take it you've got like some sort of messenger bag. I like to think of it as a messenger bag, but I don't know.
She's got her bag of holding, but she's got just a little regular backpack too. So he's
just in the backpack.
Yeah.
Excellent. So he's in the backpack, sturdy backpack. You got some straps. You got maybe some clips across it to keep it tight to your body. Perfect. Perfect. And you've been running for a bit here, and you find yourself now invisible, standing on the edge of a cliff. Below you, about 40 feet down, is a river that is rushing through a relatively small channel, at least for this river, which tends to be fairly wide. Down past that, you can see a bunch of rapids, and in front of you, you have a crowd of gnolls have spread out in a line. They're snarling, yipping, nipping at each other as they look around for something, smelling actively as they attempt to track you down. Above them, in the air, you see that largest of those hags is floating down and is encouraging the gnolls forward, looking in your general direction, but not seeing you. Seeing you. And we're going to actually start, because at the same time we have Kit, Seleus, and Calamity, who are in the Imperial warehouse. You have, just remind me, had you gotten back together on the catwalk, or where were you all? Kit, you're still in the room there?
Yeah, I think if I'm remembering correctly, and someone else may correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that I had gotten all the stuff and put it into my bag.
Yes.
And I had not left the cage yet.
Right. You plan to spend under a minute in the cage total.
Correct.
Right. You were kind of get in, get out. Calamity is on the catwalk above watching, and Seleus walked back up into somewhere. Did you walk back up the catwalk towards where Calamity was and the rope is?
Yeah, I'm imitating a guard, and I'm going back into the office, continuing his path.
Great. Okay, so we're going to start with you, Seleus. So as you're walking, right, you're going back up towards the office. You see Calamity there looking at you as you come up. She kind of looks at you and goes,
"So get up. Come on. Yeah. We're going back the way we came."
Okay. She goes, "Hold the rope."
Me hold the rope?
Me, I'm going to go.
Okay. All right.
And so she starts clambering up the rope. Yeah.
Yeah, as she's doing that, I'm waiting for Kit to get up the rope too.
All right. So Kit, you are now in the cage. What do you want to do?
So the people's attention is not they're not distracted anymore. Is that correct?
They don't seem particularly. They're sitting there playing cards.
Okay.
They're sitting there playing cards, and they're not like particular looking. That being said, as you go out, there is a moment where you could be seen.
Okay. Do I still have Pass Without a Trace?
I believe so. Yeah, we're well within the hour.
Okay, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to try to slip out very, very carefully and quietly and not be seen.
I have faith in you.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm rolling at advantage, right? Because of my key. Okay, that's really, really good because I rolled a natural one as one of my rolls. But I also rolled a 9 plus 10 plus 10, so 29.
Great. Yeah. So
Okay.
you slip that past them.
Yeah.
They did
Rogues
not
are
catch you at all.
unstoppable.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go past them, scramble up to the catwalk, and reconvene.
As you're heading up, you can see Calamity already climbing the rope and starting to get over towards the skylight.
If you pass me, I'm going to say something to you. Because I'm going to stay in the office for just a little bit longer because I have something to do.
Yeah, so you'll go ahead and y'all can have your interaction.
Yeah, I'll say, go on. Go ahead. There's something I need to do.
How long are you gonna take?
He takes out a little knife. This will only take a few minutes. And I go over to the guard in the corner, and I'm good.
You're getting over the guard.
So you're
Fine.
breaking up a bit there, Jason.
Lost you for a minute.
I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So what I was saying was, in order to get over to the guard, right now you're on the catwalk. You're gonna have to go around into that office, which is totally fine.
That's
right?
what I'm doing.
Kid, are you heading up the rope while he's doing this, or are you staying?
I'll just look at him and...
Go on. Get out of here.
All right, we'll wait for you, but just hurry.
Yeah, just make it safe to the roof. I'll meet you there.
Okay, we've got to go.
Right.
All right, and I'll just start climbing up.
Okay. Silius, what are we doing?
I'm going to take out my knife, which is like, a fine drow little knife with like a slender blade. And I'm going to open up the guard's chest piece here. And I'm going to write on him with the blade. I'm going to write, "We see all." And I'm going to just carve it in him like this.
Hey, that's fucking gruesome. Awesome.
Yeah, it is. The point of this.
No, we're okay.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, good.
So following that, you're going to go begin climbing the rope?
Yeah, but I'm also going to change my appearance to look like that of someone of the Cerberus Assembly.
Okay. Like a wizard.
In the reds, the reds of like the crimson robes and shit that they have.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I'm going to use my step through shadow to get up.
Oh, got it.
And,
not even using the rope. You're just going to step right up. Great.
And then pull the rope up and.
Okay. Great. Cool. We're gonna leave y'all there, and we find ourselves on the cave or on the cliff. Now, two things are happening. Well, actually, we're just gonna go right to Essie, and then we'll talk about Zagreus. So, Essie, you're standing there. You've been running through the woods. You've been chased for a long time now, right? Like you haven't had a moment's rest. You're tired, and somehow these fuckers are still following you, right?
You don't want to give me like 10 more minutes to prepare, like it's now? Okay, all right, fair enough. She is invisible still, backing slowly like towards the edge of the cliff, and she just like looks back behind her.
You look back actually just at the right time as your heel just got a little too far, and there's a little crumble as rocks and dirt plummet down into the water 40 feet down. You're looking, and then you look back, and the cliff narrows as it gets towards the edge that you're on, and now the gnolls are shoulder to shoulder, and they're in rows as not enough of them are through, and they're barking and biting and growling.
So she's like, obviously nobody can see this, but she's like dripping sweat, like horribly. Her hands start shaking as she like looks and like tries to steady herself quietly. And then she's just gonna, she just like her eyes, she just shakes her head in like this horror. And then she's gonna lay her hands still shaking. She's gonna reach into her bag of holding quietly. And she's gonna pull out 2 smoke bombs, one in each hand. So like, Zagrin, unfortunately, you're in the bag of holding now.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say again?
Oh no, she put him in the bag. Just kidding. I'm nervous. So she pulls out 2 smoke bombs.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like narrowing in front of her.
Yes. Like there is almost no space to get in there between them.
And they're focused directly on me, or like the whole cliff line?
They're focused on what's left, but there's not much cliff line. Like it's where they are now, it's 10 feet wide, and where you are, it's 5 feet wide. Like it's a little jutting space. There is, as far as you can, unless you can do something to disperse them, there is no way through.
Yep. This is why she's like, just sweat is pouring off of her at this point, and she's just, her hands shaking, or she tries to steady them for a minute. And I'm gonna throw them like one on each side to try to put as much like haze around in front to try to cut off any view that they have of me, to try to activate them and throw them.
As you throw them, your invisibility drops.
It's not an attack roll. If it's a spell or an attack roll that drops it.
We're gonna count using the smoke bombs, unfortunately, as that kind of thing.
All right. So as they hit the ground and the smoke just billows, like her, oh god, this is horrible.
You have a split second. What are we doing?
I'm running for the edge, and I am trying to get as far of a jump as I possibly can.
You're jumping out?
I'm jumping out.
Okay. You begin plummeting towards the water. Give me an acrobatics or athletics roll to try and break your fall a little bit.
Can I actually, I do have feather fall. So a moment before I hit, can I she's
absolutely
like,
cast feather fall?
She's like gripping onto her backpack, and she'll just like, hands shaking, she'll try to activate this little piece that she's got on her like forearm, and this almost like magical band will just whip around like her torso as this parachute looking thing like ejects out and slows her fall, and she's gonna
at the last minute. Yeah,
at the last minute she's gonna try to cast feather fall.
Yeah, no problem. You don't take any damage from the fall, and you land into the cold water, still landing into the cold water, but not as fast and not as deep as you were landing before. Still, the water, as you hit it, like it starts carrying you immediately, and you feel your breath get pulled out as this cold water surrounds you.
She just completely like locks up, panicked for a moment. Can I touch, or is this just, it's way too deep?
You sink into the water and you come back up gasping for breath. Your pack, luckily, is holding a little buoyancy, but you are bobbing in the water. You're going in and out, like under and above the water, and you've lost your breath. Like that shock of the water hitting you has forced it out, and you're.
Yeah, she's at this point like, she knows how to swim, but is panicking, and so she's like clawing at the water. Can I try to like? Is there any like floating tree branches or anything that I can try to like grab onto as I'm literally panicking so I don't drown?
So, a couple things are happening now, right? So you're in the water, you are having a bit of a panic attack. You've got a bunch of things on you that are heavy and are weighing you down, right? Your boots are making it hard to swim. Your clothing, that pack, while it's adding a little flotation, it's also shifting you around and getting pulled by the current as you spin around a little bit. And your weapons, like your weapons are pulling you down. If you detach some gear, like were you to pop off your backpack and drop your weapons, right, you would find it an easier time to swim through here. But we're just gonna pause on you for
I
a
don't
quick.
think that she would.
No problem. I don't think so either. But while this is going on, Zagrin, you are in this bottle, right? You have no idea what's going on, right? Like, you have no idea what's going on, but what you do know is that you are nearing the end of the time in which you can stay in this gaseous form.
Yeah, it lasts for up to an hour, and then, but unfortunately, I can't interact with objects or speak. So if it comes to it,
Are you aware of what's going on around you?
I can hear and see things. Like I can.
Except for you're in a
but
bottle.
I see
In a
just
In a bag.
jostling. Exactly right. I see jostling items and other jars clinking into me like a fish in a fish tank or something.
Her panicked, like gasping and probably whimpering at this point.
So you're in a sealed bottle, which is limiting how much you can hear.
Oh. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Maybe noticed it got colder as the glass starts to hit that cold water.
Yeah, water is beginning to leak into the pack. So you do see
So
some water
this is
in here
a
with
question is that so in gaseous form I can move through solids like they're water, but water works like a solid. So water squeezing into that jar could crush me.
you. That's awesome. One.
Just-
Wait, what
But
happens if
luckily
just
for you,
drop it?
you're in a sealed bottle. Being said, you're afraid that your spell is going to wear off and that you will quite literally burst out. You're just going to hold on to the last minute?
Yeah, crossing my gas particles in
Okay.
hope.
Essie,
This is not something you want to put faith in Essie for in this exact moment.
Essie, do me a favor, right? As you try and right yourself and swim, like you come up for breath again, right? Struggling with all the gear around you. You hear some crashes in the water behind you. As you briefly glance, some of the gnolls seem to have jumped off the cliff into the water. Roll me in athletics with disadvantage to try and right yourself as you go.
I am going to use my inspiration to make that a flat roll.
Fair enough.
What is it? Athletics?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's not terrible. 15.
15. Okay, great. You are struggling, but you get yourself above water for a minute. And you are already tired. However, you are able to breathe, right, and get a minute's not respite, but get air in your lungs and control that shock breathing, right? That panic breathing that happened when you hit the water. You see just ahead of you, right, the white water indicative of proper rapids as the river begins to move into the rapids. You are well in the middle of this body of water.
Good. Oh,
What do you want to
good.
do? What do you want to do? And again, the difficulty as you do this is going to increase over time as the things weighing you down and the water logging your stuff starts to pull you down and not up.
That's a great question. I have a grappling hook in my possession. Is there any way that I could get it out and try to attach it to something to stop myself in the water from continuing on, like to anchor myself?
So you're trying to use it as an anchor on something like in the bottom of the river or something outside?
Something like on the other side of the river.
Got it.
That's like any trees or like rocks that I think I could like wedge it on or throw it or like attach it
Okay.
to try to like stop myself.
Okay. It is possible you could get into your bag and get get your grappling hook out. But what you're going to have to do is stop holding yourself up and go underwater. And as you do so, pull your pack off, rummage through it, find the grappling hook, all in the rushing water. So there's a reasonable possibility if you do this, anything in your bag
So
could be lost.
So it is in the bag of holding. So how
What's
the
in
bag
your
of holding works is the grappling hook.
Okay.
So how it works is I put my hand in there and I imagine it, and it like that's what grabs. That's what I grab
Sure,
onto.
sure.
So she is going to.
Where's your
seeing
bag
no
of
other
holding?
option. I always think that she just has it on her side. Like it's a pretty small bag, so like attached to her, almost like a fanny pack, but on the side. You know, she's cool like that. Easy access.
Okay, we'll come back to that in a minute. We're going to go to the others as you begin struggling with this situation. In the interim,
Heroes Die fanny packs now coming to the big cartel.
inspiration for Slayus. Just take it. That's
Thank
annoying
you.
and
I
lovely.
needed that.
Okay. So, Kit, you're up on the roof. Slayus walks over to the rail. Or sorry, Slayus, you shadow step out, and you all are looking at each other. As y'all are sitting there, you hear, mainly at first, sounds like it's coming off from the far side of the compound towards the docks. You hear what sounds like a clanging bell, and then you hear more bells begin to ring, as it sounds like all around the compound, the gates or the alarms along the walls are ringing. Looking down into the street, you can see folks begin to react and pay attention. Guards start to act much more on guard. What would you all like to do?
What happened?
I don't
What's going
know.
on?
I don't know if it's related to us or not, but it's potentially going to make it difficult for us to get out.
Didn't they say there was a sewer exit?
Aye, we should go for that. I can be invisible, but Calamity can't.
Calamity goes, I can cast invisibility. We can disappear.
Oh, can you, Soleus?
No, but I can be quite difficult to see. I can also imitate others.
That's handy. Okay, let's do that then, and I'll just put my hand on my chest and close my eyes and poof, gone.
Amity looks at you, Slayus, and goes, I can hide both of us if you want.
That makes things a lot easier.
She grabs you and she begins channeling something, and you can see a little light in her hands as she speaks some magical words, and then you both fade out of sight.
Oh, God. Okay, so now we would just, I guess, walk out the front door.
I didn't know we could all be invisible. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
We were worried for no reason.
I mean, I guess we head to the alley, to where we met to our rendezvous point with the thieves.
We could, but he said that if there was any problem, he would go to the sewer. So I would imagine, since all this is happening, that's probably where we should meet.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
So I'd say we go directly to the where he showed us the entrance to the sewer.
Yeah. And hopefully Declan isn't there in our way.
Oh my god.
Okay, you begin climbing down from the roof, right? Before you leave, you do notice that the guards inside the compound are now, like, they've moved around and they're looking very alert, and there seems to be some sort of active thing happening in there, right?
Yeah. We just book it to the sewer.
All right, so you book
Entrance.
it towards that sewer entrance. On your way towards the sewer entrance, you see a group of 5 soldiers, 2 heavily armored knights, and 3 kind of more normal looking guards rushing past you towards the warehouse.
Towards the warehouse we just left. All right, well, I don't think we want to go that way.
They didn't have any surveillance cameras, did they? Magical surveillance cameras.
Maybe they just found the body that you carved up.
That'd be pretty quick. That'd be very fast if they caught that.
I mean, maybe they had a way to like communicate. I don't know.
Let's focus on the mission, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
But the
going.
bell-
That's where we're
Alright.
going.
But the bell started in another place, in another location.
Yes, that's accurate.
Interesting. Okay.
Great. So you pass a couple of checkpoints where there are guards and you can see them well on alert, but you see that area down by the docks. So what you have to do is get over to the docks, go down below them, right, and then in through an old tunnel under the docks, right. So as you get to the docks, you do see a place to go down underneath, right. It does look guarded, but y'all are invisible and extremely sneaky. So we're just gonna let that. We're just gonna let that roll through. Y'all were the right folks for this mission. So you head into the. Come on, Jay. You head into this old kind of crumbling pipe, right? And you have to crawl through here, and it's pretty gross. Like, it's pretty slimy, it's pretty smelly. But you can crawl in through the sewers.
Do we see anyone?
As you get through it, you see this large old stone chamber. So there's an 8-foot drop down to there's an 8 foot down drop to a small balcony, right, where you see stone cobbles, and you see a little railing, and past that is a little waterway. There looks to be a tunnel that you could carry on down to the left, but you don't see anyone in there.
I mean, he told us to, if I'm remembering correctly, he told us to meet like at the entrance to it, right? Like, so I think
Should we wait?
I'll just I'll just whisper to the others, we should stay here and wait, and hopefully they'll show up. I think we're fairly safe.
How long do you want to wait?
I don't want to wait long, but I also don't want to make us enemies of the Thieves Guild. We really need to go and find Essie and Zagrin.
I agree. Maybe we can't wait. Maybe we could just go straight to the Thieves Guild, drop off the items, and leave.
So, question for the GM. Would there be like a way? I don't know if that's risky or not. I was thinking of like stashing the stuff and doing some sort of like, thieves can't directions that it's, I stashed some stuff here. We had to go, but your stuff's here.
People could use like detect magic and see like a glowing spot somewhere. That's my
Yeah.
own concern.
But I mean, this is like in the sewer. So, would that be something that's reasonable that I
It's-
could do?
Reasonable that you could indicate in Thieves' Cant that you'd stash some things in here, right? Of course, you have no way of knowing who would
Yeah.
find it.
Right.
But that is a thing you could
Jacqueline.
do, and in fact, this is a
Yeah.
spot to stash things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we should wait a little bit.
I say we wait like 10 minutes at the most.
All
And I'm
right.
gonna go ahead and like prepare, the symbols and stuff for us to leave and stash it, and just hope that they show up.
Okay, great. Great. So y'all do that. Y'all will do that, and you'll wait there for 10 minutes. Absolutely. All right, Essie, we return to you. The only thing that you're worried about with reaching into that bag of holding is, were you to do it while the bag is submerged in water, there's a really good chance that you'd have water rushing into the bag there.
If that is the case, I'm going to do something else. If I'm worried about everything else getting ruined by water,
Or even the bag itself being destroyed, in fact.
yeah, not good. She goes say, "It's time to help me out." She's gonna try to struggle out of her backpack, like get her backpack off or get into it to get the bottle with Zagrin.
Yeah, great. As you open up the bag, or as you begin opening up the bag, Zagrin, you can't hold it anymore. You are losing control of your ability to be in this gaseous form. You begin to coalesce and change. As the bag opens, Essie, you can see that bottle burst, and Zagrin begin ripping out half in, half out of the bag, half in, half out of your backpack, right? Like Zagrin's just there in front of you. Zagrin, you find yourself
Help us!
underwater as this happens. So cold water slams around you, right? Like what breath you have driven out of you as you're sitting there. Can you make me a athletics check, please, to try and get to the surface, but make it a disadvantage because you're half in the bag.
I would also probably be that like drowning victim. It's like
I know it's
scrolling
you're underwater there as you're looking in the bag, and as he rips open, you can see little shards of glass like fly through the water. Their momentum.
It's like time
canceled out.
slows as I'm just panicking.
But you still have your breath full of air, or your lungs full of breath.
Despite my -2, I got a 14 with the disadvantage.
Yes, thank God. You gotta pull your weight now.
Zagrin, you manage to free yourself from the bag and pull yourself to the surface. Essie, getting back up to the surface, right? Again, gonna be at disadvantage, but if you drop the bag, right? If you drop the bag, you can make a straight roll.
If I drop the backpack, which has like almost nothing in it anymore.
Well, I don't know what you put in your backpack, but whatever's in the backpack.
I will absolutely drop it because I have like a dagger in there and I could not care less about it. So yes, I'll drop the backpack.
Okay.
It'll probably be more like, I don't even think it's a conscious decision. She's just like, I gotta get out, and it just leaves.
Yeah, absolutely. So each of you get me an athletics as we return to the surface here.
At disadvantage or at regular straight roll now?
You can do a regular one. Oh, so Zagrin, you just gave me one. Sorry about that.
It's 11.
Right.
It's not good. Not great.
So, Zagrin, you breach the surface and you get a second air, but you're having trouble getting your breathing under control because of the cold. Looking around, right? Like there are rapids right there, right? Like you're about to enter them at this moment. You can feel Essie pulling at you, trying to get her way up to the surface, but she hasn't made it up yet. What would you like to do?
I want to try to grab Essie and try to like stabilize her a little bit. So like with one arm trying to just keep myself above water, the other one just trying to like lift her up, keep her above the surface, and hope that calms her a bit.
It's not. It's not good.
Okay. Okay, y'all enter the rapids. Right? So what I need here is a little bit about what y'all are gonna do to try and get through this safely. One of you somewhat panicking and underwater. One of you trying to struggle, hold the other person up.
I will. I'm gonna cast Thunder Step and just teleport both of us out of the water, 90 feet in a direction. It's just a verbal component, so I can keep myself above water while I do it, and then just while I'm holding on to her still, just there.
She's like literally sobbing and like grabbing at you and like dragging you probably down underwater a couple times in the process.
Essie, I have a question for you. Where have you kept this token?
Like most things, I think it's in the bag of holding. That's her go-to spot for where they are.
Great. Great.
Get it out of the plane of existence.
No problem. Yeah. So Zagrin, you thunderstep. The burst of noise. It's from where you leave, right? That's where it happens.
Yep.
Right, so there's this thunder off to the right side. There's a little bit of beach that you can see. So you thunderstep out of the water, right, and you find yourself sitting there on the beach. And as you're standing there on the beach, you and Essie in rough shape, coughing up water.
Essie will probably just. Oh, go ahead.
You look back and you can see a number of gnolls seem to have gone in the water and look like they're in different stages of drowning as they move towards the rapids.
It was a dumb idea. They shouldn't have followed me.
Yeah.
Essie will immediately fall down to her hands and knees and just vomit, just cough and vomit, and she's sobbing. You've never seen her in this state before, ever.
To try to help calm her, we're safe now. We're safe now, and I'm gonna cast Prestidigitation to dry her off as I'm patting her back.
Yeah, great.
Hyperventilating.
As you do that, give me just 1 second. As you do that, Zagrin, you're sitting there focused on Essie. And suddenly there's this cloud of dust around you and around Essie. There's this cloud of dust in the air around both of you. I need y'all to make a wisdom saving throw, and if you have advantage against being charmed, now is the time to use it.
Oh, thank God I have advantage. 16.
22.
All right. You cough a little bit as this dust is sitting there, seems to be clouding your eyes, but both of y'all are able to see through it. And you turn and look, still wet, still dripping as you're starting to dry off Essie. Essie, you're sitting there choking. And Zagrin, you can see above you and flying in that largest of the hags, literally plummeting towards you. What do you want to do?
These hags have to die.
I'm going to summon Liam Nor, and I'm going to just get ready to take a swing when she gets in range.
Okay.
I don't know if Essie would he tell her that? I guess she would know things are happening around her.
Look out, as I stop patting you on the back and just summon the weapon and just look out.
I think she would just start scrambling forward. She's in no state to make super conscious decisions for the first round.
Yeah, no problem. All right. We're gonna go over to Kit, Slayus, and Calamity for a second. How am I doing this? Is the music just doesn't follow in the same way? Give me just a second as we find a better tune.
It's hilarious that Slayus and Kit are do. So you're literally just fighting for their lives at every moment.
Yeah, our music should be like pizzicato strings, like doom, 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 doom.
Okay. As y'all are waiting there, at about the 3-minute mark, you hear some faint cursing coming from the tunnel.
It sounds like thieves.
You look up and you see Ash like poke his head out to the far end and begin climbing. It's like, Jesus, what the shit happened in there? And he starts climbing down, dropping the last little bit.
I think we're all invisible still, right?
Oh, right. Yeah. He just goes, Jesus, what the shit did those idiots do? All right, boys, come on.
I'll just like whistle to make a little signal and say, we didn't do anything. We weren't caught. And I'll just take the stuff out and drop it on the ground.
He's like looking around, like clearly panicked. He goes, all right, yeah, that's good. That's the stuff, great. He opens it up, he starts looking through the bag. He's like, all right. Let me take y'all back to Nikolai. He's gonna want to talk to you.
We've got to go. Our friends are in great danger right now. They're going to be killed. They're going to be killed if we don't go help them. We finished this job, but we can meet later.
Looks at you. He spits. All right. Well, be at Nikolai's tomorrow. No later than lunch.
We'll be there if we survive.
All right. Good enough. You can follow me to where I'm leaving, or you can wander through the old sewers. I don't care.
We'll follow you if there's an exit that's close to maybe the edge of the city. Could point us in that way.
I can point you that way. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So he takes you through the sewer system a little bit, right? And there's a couple kind of notable things as you go through here, right? Some of these tunnels are big, like 12 feet tall, old brick tunnels, right? Like this is part of something that doesn't actually look like a sewer, right? Like this looks like some tunnels that people actually walk through. He goes, all right, wait through here. And there's a crack in the wall, right? Like a decent sized crack. And as he goes through, you're walking along a little edge, and you can see this is like a natural stone cavern that you're moving through. Something has, like, the tunnel is split into a natural stone cavern. And you can see down below there's actually a fairly large little cavern with a little bit of light in it, right? You can't tell what the light source is, but it looks like it's all dimly lit, and you can see a light glinting off some sort of minerals in the rock formation. But eventually, he leads out into what seems to be the basement of a building in another part of town, and he takes you up, and you are now able to get out onto the street. You are more in the residential area, not super far from your inn, actually.
I'll just pat him on the shoulder and say, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. And just like head in that direction. I guess we know the direction that they went out of the city?
They went into the woods. But as you just ran into last night, there's a lot of woods.
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna make it to the woods anyway. We're just gonna walk in that direction. As close as we can get. Trying to be as sneaky as we can. Do we need to rest for a bit? Are you all right?
I don't want to rest. If you do, that's okay, but I'm gonna go. Silius, do you have any way of locating Zagran?
Unfortunately, I don't.
Calamity?
You know, yeah, that can look.
That'll help drastically.
That would help a lot. And I don't want to lose you two in the forest, so should we hold hands or something?
Yeah, stick together at least.
Yeah. I want to be quiet. Don't want to be noticed, but the forest is it's dangerous.
It's quite dangerous, yes.
Don't want to get separated.
All right.
I'll just look at, well, no one can see me. I'll just kind of like try to find Calamity
Yeah.
and put my hand on her shoulder and say, you don't have to feel obligated to go with us. I know that you've had...
Hey, we're all on one team. Let's do this.
I'll give her shoulder a little squeeze and...
They're my friends
let's
too.
go. Okay.
You say so, Calamity.
All right.
Suspicious.
Y'all begin heading to the woods. You think you've got around 20 minutes of invisibility left.
Okay.
I think you've got about 20 minutes of invisibility left, which
And we're quite stinky and wet, probably.
they're not too stinky, thankfully. Like the sewers weren't full of sewage, right? They're not used sewers as part. It is just a tunnel system that has old stagnant water, so it doesn't smell great. But
okay.
It's not poo and pee.
That's not where all the poop comes. Okay.
Yeah.
Calamity could press the no, she can't, right?
She can't.
Because that would make her not invisible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
While invisible, I'm going to adopt the form of the halfling again. The counterpart to Kit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kit's halfling friend. Tweed loving halfling friend. Got it.
Yeah, Tweety or something. He's got suspenders, a bowler hat.
His name is Scotty.
Scotty. Yeah.
All right. Well, so we'll leave you as you begin trying to get out to the forest.
Quickly too, right? Like,
Yeah. So it's still dead of night, but it's getting towards morning, right? So you're now very late into the evening. So it's a bunch of sleepless nights in a row. We come back to our friends, Essie and Zagran. So everybody, let's get some initiatives out there, and we'll go from here.
Lucky number 12.
16 for Essie.
All right. So Essie, you're up, but you're just kind of regaining your feet. So you crawl away a little bit. You turn over. You start to grab your rifle as you see this largest of the witches swoop down on Zagran.
How far away is he and her from me?
10 feet.
I think like fight or flight is gonna kick in at this point as I'm just trying to pull myself back together, not even thinking clearly about the fact that she could do way more damage. Well, no, she wouldn't even be thinking about her rifle at this point, her musket. She's just gonna like pull herself to her feet, which like crawl a little closer, pull herself up to her feet, and this like almost on reflex, this darkness is going to almost take over, and she's just going to make a attack to inflict wounds on her.
Okay, great.
So that's a 16 plus 7, I think. So 24 to hit.
23
Can you
hits.
math? Okay, that's good. Math. What is math? Math is not my strong suit. But good thing it's essays. That's a good roll. Okay. 29 points of necrotic damage. That comes
Okay.
from that. she's
So
probably
you-
stinking immune to that or something.
As you see as your touch goes in, right, and begins to damage this figure, it seems like most of that energy is bleeding off. How much was the damage again?
Uh,
I think it was 29.
29.
29. Okay.
Yeah, it's in the 20s. Yes.
Okay. Great.
Something like that.
It doesn't seem super effective.
Yeah, I'm just worried about that. But you know what? She's not thinking very clearly at this point. And then these things are almost happening just because her shield is going to pulse energy, and Zagrin, you're going to get 9 points of temporary HP. And that's it.
Okay. Zagrin, you're up. This figure is swooping in towards you.
And how far is the figure from
Oh wait,
me?
sorry. Actually, before that, as you touch her, Essie, her eyes lock onto you, and they bear into you. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Is this a charm effect?
It is not. No.
Okay, I'm good at this. 18. I'm good at con saves.
Okay.
Finally, something I'm good at.
Okay. You feel this wave of lethargy begin to sweep over you, but you're able to resist it. Zagrin?
How far is the figure
She's
from
right
me?
there. She's come down in and she's claws out.
Okay, I'm going to cast Fairy Fire on her, or like so the cube hits her and hopefully not Essie and I, if that's
No
possible.
problem. Yep.
Okay, and then for my bonus action, I'm gonna swing Liamnor with advantage. Oh wait, she gets to dex save the Fairy Fire first.
Okay. That's a 13.
So she is afflicted. It's DC 16.
Okay, great.
So then with advantage, bonus action using my Battle Mage feature. Nat 20 with the advantage.
Yep. Okay, great. Yeah, you hit.
Let's go. Come on, Zagrin.
All right, so that's 11 plus another 3, so 14 bludgeoning.
Okay. The figure, still flying, lashes out. So you hit her with Liamnor, and she grunts and then turns and rakes 2 claws against you. Rakes 2 claws across you. That is a 25 and a 20 to hit.
Hit both.
Okay. So you're gonna take 18 slashing damage, and you're gonna take 6 psychic damage. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
And then I'll also need to make one for concentration on Fairy Fire. But so this will be my first one for this with a nat 1 for a total of 1.
You fall asleep. Zagrin falls unconscious.
Does the magic can't put me to sleep part of being drow help?
Yes.
It's magic.
It
sleep.
doesn't. You don't fall asleep
Yeah,
at
baby.
all.
We're so good against this lady. I can't be put to sleep either.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
So then I'll roll a Constitution save. It was a total of 18 bludgeoning, and how much was the other one?
6.
6. So
I'm not sleeping.
and nope, I got an 8, so I fail. And so the Fairy Fire, everything just goes dim again back into the moonlight as the green outline of everything just fades with the hit.
You got a nat 20 out of it, though, you know? So
Right, exactly.
All right. All right. So first round, Essie tried to use her magical energy to harm this creature, and it seemed only marginally effective. Zagrin, you cast the spell, and and then managed to get her a good one, right? But she came in and clawed you pretty badly. Essie, it's your go.
I'm gonna. This is stupid, but it's on brand because she's panicking. I'm gonna try to back away from her.
Okay.
To get
Are you
out
gonna
of-
use a?
get out of
Are you gonna
melee.
use a disengage?
Nope.
Okay. She swipes at you, but she misses.
Yep. Get some range, and as I do, I'm just gonna. You know me. Just attack with my musket. I'm gonna shoot her. That's a 17 to hit.
A 17 hits.
So that's 16 points of piercing damage. And
Okay.
then immediately as a bonus action, again, the pulse of energy goes out and Zagrin gets, that's max, 12 temporary hit points. And that is my turn. So I only backed up like 10 feet away from Zagrin so he could get the temporary hit points.
Okay. Zagrin, it's your go.
As the witch is swiping at Essie, Zagrin sees an opportunity to himself back up a little bit. So I'm going to move back in that moment. So she used her reaction. And then I'm going to go back probably about 20 feet. So now she's like in between Essie and I is the positioning I'm looking for. And then I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast at her. First bolt does a 23 hit
It does, yes.
Yes.
for 12 force damage. And
Okay.
second bolt does a 16 hit.
It does. Oh, no, it doesn't. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Uh,
So just
it-
the first
it passes right by her.
first one hit for 12.
She's looking rough, right? So the figure is looking rough. She looks at you both. She goes, "We aren't done." And then she flies off. She flies off back into the woods, putting trees between you and her.
Could I get a shot at her before she gets out of range? She's that
Not.
fast? Oh my god,
She
this
is
woman's
fast. Like
speed of
when
light.
she's flying, like she goes. Like she's just sitting there
I-
floating in the air and just whoop.
It's like Superman is gracing our presence. I've like almost do that thing where I like grab at Zagrin, panicked, and say, "We gotta run," and I'll just take off.
Yeah, I'll follow.
You can hear already the yipping in the woods from that cliff. Like you've gone down a good bit. Like the river's taken you, but it sounds like whatever was up there is already in hot pursuit.
Oh my god, we can't catch a break. Run like
Okay.
your life depends on it.
All
Show
right,
me how
y'all.
those Dickens folks operated.
Essie's so fast right now. She's giving it her all.
All right. So, for the rest of us, right? We are running out. We're heading out into the woods. So, Kit, Saleus, and Calamity, you're with 20 minutes left ish on your timer. If you hustle, you can get past the checkpoints outside of town unnoticed, but you're not confident you're going to be able to get all the way to the woodline before your invisibility runs out.
I think the checkpoint, making it past the checkpoint's the big deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you make it past the checkpoint, and you're on the road heading towards the woodline. What do you want to do?
We're just hustling, I think, and sending out. Oh, why did I forget her name?
Yantha.
Yantha. If as far as she can go, to be looking.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find.
All right. So
them.
we're kind of just searching the woods.
Yeah.
I think before we get to before entering the woods, we should hang out just on the outside, like on the edge of the woods and camp out, or maybe just like sit down in the tall grass. We're all halflings here, and
I'm not a halfling.
Oh yeah, and have like Yantha just like search the. So if they come out of the woods, we'll see them. Because I think the second we get in the woods, it's going to be impossible to find anything.
Kit's not gonna want to wait, so.
But where are we going? We'd be searching around for a needle in a haystack.
We have to try. If we wait. You didn't see what I saw. They won't make it.
I want to find them just as much as you do. But groping around in the dark is not the way. At least here we have a line of sight.
Okay, if you want to stay, that's fine. I'm going.
I can't let you go alone. I'll follow.
Calamity looks at you, she goes, I'm in. Fuck it. Let's get lost in the woods again.
There are spiders you don't understand. There are spiders and mosquitoes. Never mind. Sorry, it's talking like this.
Okay.
You don't understand.
All right. We go searching out into the woods. Hopping back to, actually, before we go, do y'all have any skills or abilities that you can use to help try and locate or find them? Right. So what you knew is Essie had a token that allowed her to get through that strange part of the forest, right? The part that you and Calamity found yourselves briefly lost in, Kit. But other than that, right, you have a general sense of where that valley full of knolls was, direction-wise. General, not great. I could use a survival check to get back that way, if you like.
Yeah, I can help you with survival. I got a good +4 on it.
I would probably want to try to, let me know if this is doable, but investigate to see if I can find any signs of where they might have gone through.
Yeah, the problem is you don't have a good starting point for where they could have entered the wood, right? So as long as you're missing that, right, looking for particular tracks isn't going to be helpful. Going and finding a spot, looking for a particular spot in the woods, like that hill where you saw those, whatever menhirs in that circle, right, is something that we could shoot for. Or going back to any place that y'all previously knew. Or we could search for that place you saw in the vision, right? You saw Essie being killed, right, on a bit of a cliff's edge, right? You could go try and search out for that, although that's going to be hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any way that I can use my powers of deduction or, intelligence to investigate and try to determine where they are based on maybe what I saw or what I know.
Yeah.
Versus survival,
Yeah. Knowing what you know, if you had the starting point where the gnolls are, following their trails might be your best path to get towards Essie and Zagrin.
Okay, then I'll try to find that, since I know generally where that is.
All right, so with Soleus, you may roll a survival with advantage using Kit and Calamity to give you some tips about what they saw on the way to the Gnoll village.
Oh, not very good. 11.
Okay.
A 7 and a 5.
All right, y'all begin heading into the woods. Essie and Zagrin, right? What direction are we running? Are we running along the river? Are we heading back into the woods? What's our thinking here? It's still dark, right? It's still nighttime and it's still dark. And you can hear the sounds of pursuit, not close, but behind you.
Is there any way? Do I know if the river should go back up to the bay?
So the river
Right.
does go to the coast. So the river is flowing towards the coast. So you do know that following it, you will get out of the woods.
Then I'll follow the river.
Okay.
And I'll follow Essie.
We want to evade pursuit here. So what I need from each of you is, so we're just going to kind of do this in order. So Zagrin or Essie, I need something that you're going to do that is going to help you evade this pursuit. And for every failure, pursuit's going to get closer, and for every success, y'all are going to get a little further away.
If you have anything, go for it, Zagrin. Otherwise, oh boy, I don't have much left. I used a lot.
I will. Zagrin is trying to get his wits about him and really just try to focus. And I would like to. I'm not proficient, but I'll give it a shot. I'm going to do a survival, and I'm going to burn my inspiration for advantage on that roll. But survival just being like, how do I navigate this beach or the coastline and move quickly?
Okay.
21.
Oh, nice.
That's one success. All right, so Zagrin, you're blazing a trail, and you're really getting a sense of how to move, and you managed to cut across. So there's a little bit of a swampy area, but you find a good spot to cut across where it stays really solid, and you think that the gnolls are going to have trouble following you through here, and may even lose some of your scent. Essie, what are we going to do here?
Could I have mentioned, like, could I have had us walk in the water for a considerable amount of time to try to stop our scent, or is that like kind of piggybacking on what Zagrin was doing?
Yeah, it's adding on to what he's already at. So I need
Otherwise,
a
then
Sure.
I am going to try to find the most efficient, like, I don't want to wander around. I'm going to like be investigating the trees and trying to find the absolute best route so we don't have to like circle back around or anything, and just...
That's a great fit for perception, for sure.
Okay, that's fine. Can I give myself the Elspeth Pike Guarantee of Excellence?
Absolutely, you can.
Thank God. Okay. This is good. 21.
Okay. All right. We return to Kit and Seleus.
So where we
Kit,
made it to.
you're now moving out. You're now moving out into the wilderness, but y'all are feeling a little bit lost. Y'all are feeling a little bit lost and disoriented now in the woods. You've got Yantha up scouting. If you want to give me a perception, you can make it an advantage using Yantha for support.
Sure. And I was also gonna, just say, like, I'm trying to listen here. Do I hear any of the gnolls, like barking, yipping, that kind of thing? Not great. That's a 10.
You do hear barking of gnolls, actually. You do hear barking of gnolls, not far off. And they're yipping and they're and snarls out there in the darkness.
Filthy creatures. They need to be wiped out.
Seleus, what would you like to do? They're pretty lost. I don't want to use the same skill that we used last time, so every time I want us to rotate. So what do you want to do to help out here?
Let me see. Well, I don't like being in the woods. I'm going to try and persuade Kit to wait at the edge of the woods with me.
No dice. I'm sorry.
If we run into those gnolls, we'll have a fight on our hands. We'll bring severe attention toward us.
So persuasion's definitely not going to work as a skill for the skills challenge. Like, it's not going to be applicable. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
We're already in the woods, I think, so.
Okay. I could create lights that I'm pretty sure Zagrin would identify, but we'd have to lay low and hope that the not so unwanted attention would come. We can see who falls for it like a lure.
That's quite risky. Just drawing attention to ourselves.
Yes. Yes, it is. I mean, what else can we do? What did the visions tell you?
It showed me vaguely a place. I can, describe. I can't recall exactly the details of what I saw, but I can describe that to Seleus. Maybe if he remembers.
You didn't see a ton, right? But you did get that there was a little bit of a grassy area. It was not under tree cover, and you could hear a river moving.
Did I pass that on my trek through the woods?
You don't remember that exact spot, but you do know that there's a couple places where the river is high where the ground is high over the river, right? Along the path. If you go to the river and begin moving along it, right, like that would get you in that general area.
Before Declan and I found our way out of the woods by following the river. What you're describing sounds like a place close to that.
Let's go.
Also, what is Chalea saying? Do you feel her in your head?
I don't. I could try. I can just close my eyes and... Do I feel anything? Do I sense her there?
You can feel a presence. You can feel a presence. You want to try and draw her out?
Yeah, let's do it.
Try and remember what it was that spurred the visions in the first place.
Okay. All right.
Just a second.
My palms are really sweaty.
All right. So, Kit, you want to try and draw out Chalea. So, one thing you're sure of is this is going to require some time and real focus. Do you want to try and sit down and do some deep breathing and channel that out?
Yeah, I'll sit down and...
Yeah, Slice is going to clear a little patch.
One thing worth noting, the sound of those gnolls is actually relatively close. Do y'all want to try and find a spot to hide first?
If it's close and getting closer, I'll just try to find a spot off, maybe there's no path, but I don't know.
Yeah. Celeste, do you want to roll me a stealth for your check?
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll see if you can't find a little spot.
Oh, that's a nat 20 plus motherfucking 8. 28.
Okay. Great. So nat 20s, by the way, when we're doing skills challenges, I'm counting. What I'm doing is I'm counting successes and failures, right? If you get 3 failures, we're going to get the worst consequence for your group. When we get a certain number of successes, you're going to get whatever you're trying to accomplish. That's just the way I do it. But with nat 20s, I count them as 2 successes. So
let
y'all
me-
two are at
we've
2
had
and 2.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. Yeah. And so I kind of want to like, help Kit out in terms of like, teaching her kind of meditation techniques. Like
Absolutely. That's
like
so you
nothing
find a
else
good spot to
exists.
hide, right? So you find actually there is an area where there's some boulders that that you actually have a good spot to climb into over these boulders where you've got a decent spot to watch, and especially with Yantha, you've got good lookouts, but it's really hard to get into, and it's cool. It's cooler than the surrounding area, and it's quiet, although it is a little moist. And you begin showing Kit how to actively do
Sit in
some
front of her
do some
with
meditation.
lotus.
Yeah, great.
And can I also
Hold
take
my
a short
hands.
rest, technically?
Maybe if you have enough time.
All right.
So now we
Nothing
find ourselves
exists.
back with
Nothing
Zagrin. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go on. I was just gonna do some meditation. In through the nose, out through the mouth. No.
Yeah. Now the other two who are breathing hard because you are running. You've gotten some space. So Essie was able to really help y'all pick a clear path, right? So you had another spot where as you were going, there was heavy woods and a lot of brambles and things, and Essie found you a path where you could run along the ridgeline, stay within view of the river and moving. But y'all are starting to get tired out. So Zagrin or Essie, whoever can go first. What are we doing to try and keep ahead of our pursuit?
Is there, I don't, this might be really stupid and we can try something else, but is there any way I could like climb a tree in the darkness to like center on the town and then beeline it towards the town? Or is that again just kind of doing the same thing?
It's possible, but yeah, I don't want to use perception twice in a row, so I don't want to use the same skill twice in a row, but it's certainly possible. The one thing worth noting is these trees are really tall, so climbing a tree is a bit of an ordeal, right? Not that it's a bad idea.
Have spider climb, so that's okay. Instead, then what I'm going to do,
using spider climb to get up to the top of the tree, I'll give you a free W, right? Where you will get a sense of where you are in perspective, and because you're up on a ridgeline already, you actually have some height. So if you get to the top and look out, you'll have something
to help.
Yeah.
Okay, then she's just gonna. Oh, Zagrin. Wait a second. I can't keep running for all that. I'm gonna check out where we are. All right.
While you do that, I have an idea. Go ahead. I'll be down here.
She'll like swing happy ending so that the strap takes effect and it's on the back. And then she is going to just get out, dig in her bag, and like her hands are shaking still. Like at this point, she is exhausted, and she will just take that same like sticky substance that you've seen her use before, and she'll just spread it on her hands and her boots. And like a little magic essence will just pop into place, and she will just climb up the tree or whatever, the highest tree that she can find, to try to get a better sense of where they need to go.
Okay, great. So you climb up the tree, and looking down, you can see the lights of the town. So the direction you're traveling is, you're traveling straight, right? The town is probably a 45-degree angle off, but it's straight through the woods, right? It's straight through the woods. You're probably a couple miles from the edge of the wood the way you're going, following the river. So the fastest path out is going to be along the river.
Do I hear any gnolls like immediate 60 feet, 120 feet vicinity?
No.
Okay.
You have a moment's respite, although as you're looking out, you do see something flit across the moon.
Oh God. She'll just like crouched down on a branch, and her like legs are shaking momentarily as she like puts her forehead up against the tree and just like breathes for a couple seconds to try to like, all right, get it together. And then she'll make her way back down the tree.
Great. Zagrin, what are we up to as he's doing this?
Yeah, well, as he's in the tree, Zagrin's going to try to make false tracks going in the wrong direction. And leaving the tracks, I'm going to then try to use trees and stepping on like maybe rocks so I don't undo my tracks. And what I'm pitching is a deception check, but using dexterity instead of charisma as the base, as I'm trying to not undo my tracks, leading them in the wrong direction.
Son of a bitch, I'm in. Do it.
It's less good than a regular deception, but I still get the
I get it.
proficiency
I get
bonus
it.
that way.
I get it. I like it.
So 23.
Get on it, Zagrin.
Okay, I'm gonna be known as the nice DM after this. Fine. Okay. Okay. Great. We
Don't
move
worry,
back
I will not
to-
spread that rumor.
we move back to Kit. So Zachary, yeah, that works, right? You've got a good false trail there. So Kit,
Wait, are the other people gonna find our false trail? Oh man.
You're breathing. You are meditating. You are trying to find, Talia and make contact with her. I'll accept an insight check to try and connect with this part of yourself.
Can I help?
It's just straight roll, not an advantage.
If you want to burn your inspiration, if you have it.
I don't. I used it, I think, last time.
Sorry.
I gotta decide which die to roll.
Your luckiest one.
It's a 14. I don't know if that's a success or not.
14. As you're meditating, you're getting, then you can feel that you're making contact, like she's right there. And then Calamity shakes both of you. She's like, Knowles, they're right here. We gotta go right now.
Oh, I was so close. Okay.
You can hear the snarling. You can hear the snarling coming from right outside. You can hear the snarling coming from right outside. There are gnolls around you right now.
Can't.
We're hidden though? Are we? We're
You
pretty
are
well
hidden, but they are
Oh my
smelling.
God.
They're looking.
Can we try to just hide rather than run?
You can try anything you like.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just look at the others and say,
Yeah.
Okay, so just for a little bit more clarity about where we're at, right? So you climbed over some boulders. There is a very thin path that one person could go through to slip out back into the regular forest area, and otherwise you're in a bit of an overhang, right? You can climb up the rocks and get onto the boulders and get down that way, which is Calamity is up on the boulders and she's looking over. And there's a small little walkway, right? But you can hear something, near the edge of that walkway. That laughing, that barking, that growling noise, and the. So, you have a moment. What do you want to do?
well, if it seems like they're like right there, then we should probably run. And if it seems like they're not that close, then I would say hide. But
Right
if
there.
they're
Like,
right there,
within 20 feet of you.
try to run then, I guess. Just try to run away from, you said that there's the narrow path and that's where the sound is coming from?
There's a narrow path, and you can hear something. You can hear something on the far side of that. You've got the way up, where Calamity is laying up against the rock, like looking up, and looking alarmed.
We'll climb up.
All right, Selaeus, what are we up to?
I think staying still and trying this again might actually benefit us. No? Am I the only one who thinks...
I can't tell you what...
Well,
Okay. I mean,
if they're like right there, then we should probably run.
Yeah, because they're smelling us.
And we don't want to get cornered in this little area.
Right. How long were we sitting there for?
5-10 minutes max.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, now might be the only time.
As you're looking, Kit, as you get up there and you join Calamity, you can see down below the rocks, there's a group of six gnolls out there, and there are these two incredibly large dogs. Dogs are real proper hyenas. One of them is over looking towards that entrance and is putting its head in and sniff. Like, it can't get through, but it's in there looking. And the gnolls are out there all kind of looking around.
So this might be a mistake, but can I, is there anything...
Yeah, because that's
So
it. If we run, they're going to be right there anyway. We're going to be in combat.
Well, how
If we
much
hide.
sound does a crossbow make when it's fired?
It makes enough sound that it would be heard. Now, a couple things about where you're at, right? It's about 8 foot.
Skulker.
It's about 8 foot of climbing to get up to you where you are looking down. And you do have a fair bit of cover if you want to start shooting down at them, right? Also, that
No.
narrow path is kind of limited.
What I was gonna do was quietly take out my crossbow and fire it away into...
It would, the twang of your bolts,
It
but
would
the
make a
twang of the
sound.
crossbow is not quiet.
So then I would try to find something, like is there like a stone or something?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, then I can't throw it as far as a crossbow would go, but if I can find like a nice sized stone and just throw it as far as possible and try to distract them momentarily enough. And I'm gonna make eye contact with the others and show them what I'm gonna do, and then, so they can get ready to run when we do that.
Okay. You fling the rock. It rustles in some bushes, and you can see the figures. The figures turn and look towards the rock. However, that creature that had its head in the crevice there has just stuck its head in further. Selaeus, you can see the tip of this thing's nose, like right there, right there as it's beginning to, looks like it's getting ready to do something. It's opened its teeth. You can see a little drool dripping down. But their backs are turned, and one of them moves over towards those bushes. However, there's still a group of them within 30 feet of this area at the bottom of the rocks.
Okay. Is Kit? Part of the plan was to split right after you shot the rock.
Are you running?
I think we're gonna do that. But for me, getting out of the hole, I'm going to shadow step to the top, and just basically and maybe reach down to help them get out if they need it to help them, and then split.
Okay, guys, we're gonna make a stealth check. We're gonna do a group stealth check. right? And this is
That's what I like.
hard, right? Like this is going to be really hard to get away, but we're going to give you all a chance. So at least 2 of you have to beat the benchmark, and the benchmark's going to be 25.
25.
That's right.
Okay, 25 stealth. Here we go.
Calamity
Wait,
isn't your
everyone's
one.
doing it.
Yeah, everyone including Calamity. But Calamity didn't make it, so you two have to make it.
We both have to
I
be
rolled
25.
24.
Dude. 25 exactly.
So
I
you
rolled a
slide-
17 plus 8.
You slide down the rocks. Quietly, but Calamity stumbles as she's going away, and one of those hyenas turns and begins barking as it looks at you. We're in combat, folks. So what I need from you two is initiative, and we'll be back to that in a second as we go over now to Essie and Zagrin. So Essie and Zagrin, right?
Oh, wait.
Zagrin, you've laid these-
Sorry, did I have advantage on that roll?
You do when you have your knife or your key. Go ahead.
That was a 26 with advantage.
25, 26.
That is just there. All right, so retconning a little bit.
Sorry,
You
I
sneak.
was nervous.
You're good.
Forgot about my advantage.
Yep. So you sneak. You sneak just away from them, right, and get around the corner. But they are not far. You are not 60 feet from them, folks. So y'all need to decide what you're going to do, and we're going to come back to you in just a second. Essie and Zagrin. Essie, you've climbed down the tree now, and Zagrin has just returned after laying his false trail. Where are we going?
She's just like, a hand is up against the tree and she's breathing hard. We got a couple more miles. I think at this point we should just be quiet and try to sneak our way. Unless you have a better idea.
He just shakes his head.
I'm gonna, like, she's almost exhausted to the point of, like, she reaches a hand, like, her hand as she reaches out is just, like, trembling, and she'll grab onto him and say, "You've got my guarantee of excellence. Let's go." And then she's just gonna, as quietly as possible, keep following the river.
All right, so we doing a stealth?
Mm-hmm.
That's the roll.
Wait, is this
motion, by the way.
only
Field don't
me,
know.
or is it
That's how we
both
roll.
of us?
Just you, Essie.
Well, then I would give myself the ultimate guarantee
go
of
ahead.
excellence. Okay. Oh, this is so good. 25.
Okay.
I'm almost as sneaky as y'all. Not quite.
All right. All right. So you, Essie, leading the way quietly. Zagrin, you're able to follow her and move really quietly as y'all go along the river. Is there anything that you'd like to do to
Cry.
contribute to this?
For Zagrin?
Yeah, for Zagrin. I'm sorry.
I will, cry first of all, but silently, so I don't blow the spell. It's a silent sob. But trying to think of things we haven't used. I would like to maybe see if I can hear if there's any nighttime animal activity, just to try to see what's up ahead, what's around us, and trying to discern specifically maybe what noises are natural animal noises as the nocturnal creatures are out versus what could be null noises to help navigate. And I'd like to do an animal handling.
You had me at perception. You lost me at animal handling.
All right. I will. I'll do perception then.
We
I think
can
that's
bring
even
back a
slightly better.
bear, right? Like, let's just tame a bear out here. Why not? Show me
nat
the
20.
way. Mm-hmm.
for a total of 22.
All right, guys. So Zagrin, you're able to pick a path, and between the two of you, you're jogging, you're getting out there, and as dawn begins to break, you are leaving the woods now along the river, and a couple miles out of town. You are quite literally out of the woods.
Like, if Zagrin looks at Essie, there's like just her hair has gotten, you've probably never seen it out of its like really cool updo ponytail. It is like limp. She is sweating to the point of like all of her is just saturated, like all of her clothes, and she looks horrible at this point. I didn't think we were gonna make it back.
I did, and I'm gonna pull out the letter that she gave me and hand it back to her. Told you we wouldn't need that.
Boom.
She'll just like wipe away some grime and maybe a tear, and all right, she'll take it back. Thanks.
No, thank you. It was foolish of us to go out there. I was looking for a shortcut, but you saved me, and they were clearly after me, so thank you.
Yeah. She'll just like impromptu give him a hug.
Yeah, he'll almost be like afraid, still a little on edge, like, oh no, attack, but then quickly calm down and return the hug and say, oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I know that we have a moment, but I do think that we need to continue back to town, or at least the further away from the woods, the more comfortable I'll feel.
I was just going to say she smells like she's been sweating for all night. Yeah. All right. And she'll look at like the remaining distance that they have to go and just almost like the look on her face is like almost dread. Like, I don't know if I can make it the rest of the way. But she'll kind of like steel herself to the best of her abilities and all right, I think I can make it.
Yeah, Essie, this was a bad night, right? Like you had the situation with the demon and the witches and almost drowning again. Almost drowning again in cold, dark water. This has been a traumatic event, but you and Zagrin like had each other's backs and came through it, right? Like it's a strange place, but you find yourself feeling very disoriented emotionally.
She'll almost be using Happy Ending as like a walking stick because she's so tired. She'll like point a finger at Zagrin. Never make me jump into a churning river ever again. That was the worst night of my life.
Zagrin almost like stops walking and gives like a little bit of a puzzled look and says, that was the part you took most offense to, not that old hag swiping at you. Kind of just looks at like the scratch that's still on her.
That's fine. I've been hit before, but... And then she'll almost look like kind of ashamed. I don't do so well with water. Scares me in ways that a lot of things don't. And I can't think when I'm in this kind of situation. I know I should be able to, but it's like every thought I've ever had my entire life just empties. And I think I'm going to die.
Well, one thing that's become abundantly clear is that us as a team needs to keep you thinking. I'll be sure to make sure that you stay out of the water as much as I possibly can. The least I can do.
Yeah. Don't spread it around, all right? I need to maintain a certain,
Consider the stopper firmly secure in that bottle.
Thanks for getting me out of that water.
Anytime, Essie, anytime.
All right, Kit and Seleus, you've got some distance from these gnolls, but they're right there. Like they're close by. You can hear the growling, the biting, the howling as they once again seem to be on the lookout. What do we want to do?
I'll just turn to Seleus and say, can you do that thing where you just go, and appear?
Yes, I can.
Can you do that with someone else?
Unfortunately, I cannot. I do have something that I could use. I was saving it, but I think now is the time. And I bring them all together. And I put my hand on them. And I go, kind of close my eyes. So whisper something. And the shadow takes everyone again. We are silent.
Okay, we'll just
Sometimes
run.
Yeah. That's it for my key points, guys.
All right, where are we going?
Out of the woods.
Away, the opposite direction. I don't know which way that is, if that's deeper
Yeah,
into the woods.
just away.
Okay.
So as y'all start making tracks out of there, Seleus, you do get the sense that y'all are moving out of the woods.
Okay, yeah, and just to be clear, it's pass without trace.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, okay.
I have a question too. Did we hear that thunder step? No.
I have another quick question. Sorry to interrupt. The sending stone, does that reset at dawn, or when
Dawn,
does that are we getting close to?
You are getting close to dawn.
Okay. At dawn, I would want to send a message to Kit again, but I don't know when that will be.
Yeah, great.
Right on.
All right.
We
just
try and make
running.
it out. Yeah.
All right, folks. With Seleus leading the way, if Kit, you're not going to challenge him on direction-wise, you do make it near to the edge of the woods as False Dawn approaches. Right, Essie and Zagrin, you're now almost back to town. You can see again some soldiers and some checkpoints around it, but you can walk up and walk into town.
We're gonna make it all the way back and then get hopefully the guards will not take you in. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, we'll approach. Can you try to look exhausted, put your head down, keep your head down? Or are you gonna pretend to be a bug catcher? Are we going in separate? What are we doing here?
Maybe you go up ahead. I left under my pseudonym, so I'll re-enter. That way they don't think I went AWOL and cause more problems for us. But we left separately, so perhaps we should enter separately. I will just wait and just kind of walk off the path. I'll just wait here for a few minutes, let you get up ahead, and I'll come in a little bit later.
All right.
Meet at the cup. Don't leave the cup until we're both back.
All right. She'll almost very reluctantly walk away by herself. And she'll try to straighten out her appearance as much as possible. At some point, her jacket came off and she just has a white, almost billowy shirt like with like a little necktie with like suspenders on.
Yeah.
And she'll just walk up to the.
Yeah, you walk up to the
them.
guards. They challenge you, but you know you're able to get in. It looks like you've had a bad night. Looks like you've had a bad night. Like there's sticks in your hair, there's dirt on your clothes, there are rips. It's not an amazing smell.
I ran into some gnolls, and I managed to get away, but there's a lot of them out there.
One of the guards looks at you and goes, Knowles.
Yeah.
I've heard rumors, but no direct reports. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah. Of course. Be safe. And then I'll just walk by him slowly.
Yeah, Zagun, you find yourself well harassed once again based on your looks, but you're able to
before
talk
I
to
go
him.
in, I will spend a few moments trying to just like sit on the ground while she's going up ahead and see if I can happen to find any bugs. If not, I'm just gonna fill a couple like jars with sticks and grass so they look like bugs could be in there.
Yeah, you got a couple bugs. No problem.
Nice. Yeah, and then walk in through the checkpoint and through the guards.
Okay. Yeah, again, they give you a little shit, but you're able to get in. Your story is established, and actually having that note to report to the commander is a pretty good, hey, I have official business here kind of deal. So yeah, you're able to get in. Kit and Slayus, right? You're getting at the point you realize where Slayus is taking you. You're near the edge of the woods, and it's not far from dawn. So we're gonna cut back to you two.
Yeah, I don't think I was really paying attention where we were going as we were running, but I would absolutely like if we don't have the gnolls on our trail anymore, I would absolutely like not want to go back to the town.
Yeah,
I'd be
so
wanting to go back into the woods.
No problem. And Pass Without Trace is up at this point as you're getting towards the edge.
Right. What do you wish to do, Kit?
Do we still hear the gnolls, or did we lose them totally?
You've lost them at this point, yeah.
Lost them, yeah.
I've got to go back. I'd be maybe better on my own, more quiet, and I don't want you to have to go back. I know you both hate the woods, but I can't go back to town.
Clemmy just shakes her head, just like, I'm not leaving you. So
Yeah, we won't leave you, but I do recommend maybe we try reaching Chalea one more time.
I can give it a go, but I don't want to wait around. I'll just close my eyes for a second. Do I feel anything?
it's gonna take you a minute, but if you spend a few minutes meditating, you can try.
Block everything out. No one's here.
Okay. Can you hold my hand?
Yes.
I'm a bit scared.
Calm.
All right, with Slayus giving you some guided meditation, I will give you advantage. Roll me an insight. Try and connect with Chalea there.
That is a 12.
No dice, unfortunately. You feel it, but she slips away. She's too deep.
It's not working. I'm sorry. She's
Don't
there,
apologize.
but it's too... Can we just go back and try to find them again?
You don't want to wait until tomorrow.
It might be already too late.
Okay, folks.
I'm-
Oh, sorry.
I would need 1 hour of rest to be of benefit to you. If you could wait 1 hour, we can go back.
I can't wait. I'm sorry. But you stay here, and maybe you'll see him. You can rest.
All right. I'll be right here. Follow the river to get out. And I'll
Okay.
kind of wait there.
Okay.
I'll sit there. My back up against the tree. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll be in this location.
So you're, yeah, great. Okay, cool.
And I'll go up a tree.
Kit, as you're getting in a little bit, right? You're maybe a couple minutes away. Essie, you're getting back to the Rusty Cup, and it is dawn.
I will have been holding my sending stone in my hand, like waiting. I'm gonna I would have been kind of looking at the sun, like, come on.
Do you want to look around the Rusty Cup first? Make sure that you don't have anyone there. Yeah.
Yep. I'm gonna do a quick search.
Search the room, and there is no one there.
And I'll just Kit, I made it back to the town, but you're not here. Where are you? Are you safe?
Okay, Kit, you hear this message.
As I'm guessing the stone is probably like in my pocket or something, and I'm just like trying to get it out, and I'm looking at Calamity because she can't hear, right? Like,
Yeah, she just looks over you. Like, what's
they're
up?
safe. I think they're safe. And I pull it out and I like drop it on the ground, and then I get it in my hand, and I'm just like, Essie, you died. You're alive? I'm in the woods looking for you. I'll come back. And yeah, I'm just gonna book
Okay.
it out. Yeah.
Knowing
All right.
that she cannot respond at this point, Essie will just like collapse, not even on the bed. She's just like against the wall and then sits down and just like her musket is across her lap, and she'll just and just rest there waiting.
Okay. Okay, folks. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, folks, you'll have all gotten back together, and we'll be back at the end. Y'all are officially out of the woods. Congratulations.
Yay.
So I'll see you in a sec. All right, folks, and we are back once again. Thank you for joining us. Just for context, if you don't know what's going on, I'm Jason. I'm the Game Master. We're joined by our awesome cast. We're all the folks that make up Heroes Die Show. So good to see you. Before we left, it's been kind of an interesting episode where finally our whole group has gotten out of the woods. Essie and Zagrin were being desperately chased. Kit and Soleus went in there to try and find them with Calamity, but due to some shenanigans, missed each other in the woods, and all were separately able to return back to the inn. So we're joining them after some time has passed. Y'all have gotten back into town. Soleus, assuming, used something stealthy to get past the checkpoints, so that he could get in relatively unnoticed.
Yeah, I look like someone completely different.
There we go. Y'all get in, yeah, because you have the hat of disguise. Jeez, duh. Y'all get back into town. Around 8-ish hours have passed. But before we talk about that, I want to say some thank yous. So first off, I want to say thank you to everyone who's watching. We'll enjoy making this show, and it's really fun to be able to share it with you. So thank you so much for taking the time. I want to say thank you to all the awesome people that make up this actual cast. You're super fun to play with, and you make the show real and you make the stories come to life. So thanks a ton for that. And I want to say thanks to the folks at Tabletop Audio. If you enjoyed any of the spooky music you've been hearing, or in this case, just regular background sounds where you can hear seagulls and stuff, that's all tabletopaudio.com. Tell you what, like when I play games where I don't have access to audio tracks, I feel like I'm missing something now. That's how good it is. And it's free. Check it out. Use it. Enjoy. Join us on our Discord. Talk to us, whatever. And with that, we're back to the show. Y'all good? Back to the show?
Yeah.
All right. You return to the inn. Everybody. You have your tearful reunions, and you have a minute to go rest, right? It's a relatively early morning for all of you. So question is, who's taking a long rest today and who is doing something else?
You think we should try to get back to our normal sleep schedule? Or I don't want to go out anymore overnight for at least 2 days.
I think we should rest up, and that I've got to go. I can't take a long rest yet. I've got to go back out. The mission that I was on, completed it, but I have to go meet the Thieves Guild, I guess, for a follow-up.
Yeah.
Can we all come with you?
No, I don't think that'd be a good idea.
You don't have the stone to contact me if you get into trouble today.
I know we skipped over the reunion, but when Kit got back,
we can go back and y'all can be playing it out, so we don't have to be doing that. So we can cut right to y'all are meeting back at the end. That's a perfectly fine spot to be.
Okay.
You just find Essie in the same spot. She's sitting like on the floor in probably their room up against the wall. When you came in, she probably just had her head rested like against the wall, and she's probably actually half sleeping.
So the door just like balanced. Flings open, and Kit's just gonna just like dart over and just like she's not touchy, like she doesn't hug, but she's just going like right in, and she's just like grasping onto you and like burying her head into your chest, and she's just like, "You're alive. I saw you die. I was so scared.
Oh, I die.
It was terrible. You were there. You were just dead. Zagrin too."
It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, I'll give her a hug back. It was touch and go for most of the night. I've never been so tired in my life.
What happened?
It was a trap. Imagine that. Should have figured that one out. All three sisters were there, and they brought out a I'm assuming like we're all kind of in the same spot.
Are you telling everybody?
Yeah, I'm assuming that we're. They
Sure,
might
you
have
can all
trailed
be
along.
gathering everybody together to kind
Is
of share the full
Calamity
story.
there?
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then Sagard, I don't know who that other woman was.
Some silk shitting bastard, and just kind of looked to Soleus. It's those children of malice. It was clearly a trap. The hags had me set up.
You survived.
Yes, but the hand on one of the sisters, and I'll kind of describe it as, you know, the purpley scaly. Does that sound familiar, Kit?
Yeah.
I was afraid of that.
that's what
So
I
at least we
saw.
know one set of eyes on us, and I imagine, and I'll just kind of look up to the sky. They could be watching now.
It's likely. I think we need to act as if someone's always watching us.
And then I'm gonna just reach into my pocket / satchel. I think I put it into my jacket. And pull out the object that is like an orb, right?
Yeah, so it's like about the size of a racquetball. It's like a glassy orb. It's so cold to the touch that it burns your fingers when you touch it directly, right? And you actually take a point of frost damage from touching it.
I'm gonna put it to the other hand and just kind of like, and then put it on the floor and roll it. This
Yeah.
is maybe something that can help us.
It's a black glass sphere. And you can see within it things swirling around. I'm just going to undo this. Zagran, please take an inspiration for silk shitting bastards. Didn't want to forget that. So it's a little black glass sphere, and the whole room is colder now that it's out.
I'll just if it caused Kit damage, like if I can see that, she'll just like dig in her pack and get out like a tweezers or something, or like a clamp, and try to grab it that way. I can try to figure out what it is, and I'll dig in for my little like fantasy microscope and start ritually casting Identify, because I don't have a lot of juice left in me today.
Yeah. You managed to grab some other things, didn't you?
Yeah, and I'll just dump the satchel out. I grabbed all I could that wasn't on the list of things that they wanted.
Something else happened while we were there. Our mission, it was successful, but something else triggered an alarm.
I don't know what it was. Unless there was some sort of like, maybe there was a way for them to magically monitor the things that I was taking. Trip some sort of alarm that way, but it didn't seem like anyone was alerted in the warehouse, though. She's gonna look over at Soleus. You didn't come right away with me. What did you go back to do?
I left a message. I tried to fan the flames of distrust between the guards and the magic users, the Cerberus Assembly. While I imitated the guards, I overheard them say that tensions were growing. They did not want the Cerberus Assembly in town. They are at ends.
Tension between the Crown's Guard and the Cerberus Assembly.
That's right. The guards don't want them there. The Cerberus Assembly is pushing their weight around. And I don't blame the guards. After the beasts that we encountered, they are putting people at risk.
So that critter that you came across, that That came from the Cerberus Assembly. They let that out. That's what you're thinking?
That's what I'm thinking. What's most important is that's what the guards think.
What kind
Well-
of message did you leave?
I carved the words, "We hear all," in the chest of the guard.
What guard?
Was the guard alive?
No. I had to take action. The kid was having a seizure.
Kit, why don't you say something? You all right?
I think so. It was when I saw that you and Zagran were being killed. I kind of lost awareness of what was happening around me, and apparently I had a seizure. I don't remember that. I just remember seeing terrible things happening to you too.
It's what spurred our concern for you.
Well, thanks for trying to come out and find us. We had a rough go of it, but we managed to collectively get out of there. Had a couple close calls. But, something good came out of it. Zagran and I had a hug for the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
These are
you
strange
can-
times.
As you can tell, they were desperate moments, to say the least.
Real desperate.
See Calamity take a deep breath. She's like, "Phew, I still had odds on y'all shooting each other."
Were you hoping?
good to hear.
Did you have money on it?
No. Doesn't seem like a safe thing to bet on.
Bet on me. If you're gonna bet.
Yep. Absolutely.
I have to say, Kit, you saved my life. We did well.
How did I save your life?
You completed the mission. You did everything properly.
I feel like I put you in danger again.
It is nothing compared to the missions I usually go on. This was successful.
With your help. And she'll look at Calamity.
And Calamity.
Yours too. Thank you for staying with us through everything. I know you didn't want to go back into the woods, but thank you.
Yeah, I'm not leaving you alone. And, I don't want Essie to die either. It gives you a punch in the
Zagran
knee,
fair?
Essie.
Is Zagran
Yeah.
fair game then?
No, I like Zagran too. You too, Zagran. She grabs it. She's like, "Hey, all of you, we're a team, guys."
Inside check. I'm just kidding.
I know. I want you so bad.
Yes, it is. It's good to know that you're not dead, Lord Zagran.
Yes, I told you we could handle ourselves, and kind of just look at how beat up both of them are.
You said this was a demon of Loth?
I believe so. Some sort of Children of Malice associate.
Okay. Handmaiden?
A handmaiden of Loth.
I don't even know if that exists anymore. I just read about it once and in the storybook. Well, I thought it might be fantasy.
They are foul. They are the most foul.
What are they?
They are the top-ranking soldiers of a demon's army. And if one is this close, we are all in danger still. Especially if they have access to scrying.
Zagran and I did decently well against one of the witches by herself. I think we would have gotten her if she hadn't flown away. But collectively, they're seem like a small army.
Yes, between the three sisters and the handmaiden herself, I believe we would have been very much outgunned. Even if we were to go back in, the five of us, I believe we would be putting ourselves at a great risk. I'm hopeful that distance rather than an offense will be our solution to this.
You think there's any way to have them turn against each other? Or do you think do you think those witches or those hags were loyal to her for something? Or do you think that we could exploit them in some way?
My guess is particularly based on the location and the behavior of the witches. If I were to guess, I believe that it was more of a transactional nature rather than the witches belonging to the Children of Malice themselves. Their reach is decently large in Xhorhas, but I don't believe that their reach would be out here. My guess is that they probably made some sort of trade or arrangement with the witches to find my location and then lure me into a trap.
All right. Zagran, what does that handmaiden or that general, that witch said that she was your destiny? Does that mean they're gunning for you specifically? And why?
I imagine I would make quite the prize for any Children of Malice soldier, regardless of the rank, to bring back. My position in the Beltune Den makes me of some import to the dynasty in particular, and me being away from my normal surroundings and makes me quite vulnerable. Not to mention that if I were to be killed here, I would not be able to resurrect. So if they were able to do me in while I'm so far away from a beacon, they would get a permanent kill on me, and that's valuable to them.
A beacon?
Lord Zagran is being modest. He has a destiny. It seems like they know about it.
And what exactly is that destiny? I'm not against helping you guys out and figuring out if there's anything that can help stop this war. I'm all for helping out. But I don't even know what we're helping out for.
I can understand your frustration, and it's a frustration that I share. My willingness to head forward into that trap with so little information stems from my own frustration of not knowing what my destiny might be. When I heard the idea of something being able to answer that question, without further thought, I decided to volunteer myself. So I'm not withholding information, but desperately seeking it, and I won't risk your lives for that. Not for information. Most of my calling, the urge, draws me towards a location, but even when I try to commune directly with Lirimnor, I don't get much more than a sense of traveling to Eiselcross, and hopefully the light will illuminate more after that.
So your god somehow gave you a holy mission, and all you know is that it's in Eiselcross?
I'm not even sure if it's in Eiselcross or if I just need to travel there, but all I know is that's the step I'm currently on.
So you're currently on the step to Eiselcross, and you don't know what to do after that.
Keep in mind, Loth was vanquished by the Lord of Light. If she has given Zagran his direction, then...
So, hold up. Are you saying there's a civil war going on?
Insurrectionists. It's not necessarily a war in the sense that While the Children of Malice are certainly a powerful force, they're more of a guerrilla militia as they operate now, trying to recruit whatever small villages and tribes they can to their cause and create havoc and hope that the dynasty tumbles.
So, help me understand here. So these followers of Loth, they're trying to kill or destroy followers of the Luxon. So they're just to try to bring Loth back?
Essentially, yes. They believe that they have rightful claim to the people and the homeland that the dynasty now occupies. But the light will not be vanquished so easily, not by their wicked methods.
All right. So are you looking for a way to stop the war within your skirmish, whatever you want to call it, this challenge between your gods internally, or are you looking to stop the war between the Empire and the dynasty, or are you looking to do all of the above?
My primary concern is following the holy mission. Whatever incident or disagreements that the nations might have amongst each other, while I wish for the war to end, I don't consider that a primary concern. I did what I could before I left in sending over ambassadors in hopes of negotiating a peace. And certainly, with all sincerity, I wish them the most luck in that mission. But directly, my presence here, as I've stated, I don't wish you any harm or wish your people any harm. I'm merely passing through as I follow through with what will be my destiny, whatever that might be.
The Children of Malice are using this as an opportunity to strike and to further tensions between our lands. So if this war is concluded,
the rest will follow suit, perhaps, or at least have a better chance.
we hope.
All right. And you don't have any clues on what you might find there?
And Zachary just shakes his head. No, to the point I was willing to sacrifice myself to some hags in hopes of even a glimmer of information.
All right. Let's not do that again.
Agreed.
I've had my fill of evil hags and water.
Kit and I must report to the Thieves Guild, but after that, I recommend staying close.
Yes, I think it's probably best we all stay in the Rusty Cup while you accomplish that mission, and then come back as quickly as possible. Without the sending stones, I don't think we should be separated for too long. We'll plant here in the meantime.
I'll go about figuring out what all these gadgets, these artifacts are. These items.
Good. I think that cold thing should be able to keep us from being scryed on. At least that's what was led to believe.
I'll know in a couple minutes.
Right. Kit, you need to rest.
How much time before noon?
Yeah, a couple hours. Not enough time for a long rest, but you have a couple hours.
Short rest.
Mm-hmm.
Just take a quick rest, and then we head out.
I don't know about you, but I am famished.
Could have a fish pie.
I'll be downstairs. And I think Soleus is going to transform into like a human version of Soleus. So still like in monk robes, but with the dandy hat on.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Nice.
Go down and get a fish pie.
Calamity stands up and she goes over to you, Essie, and she grabs your shoulder. She goes, "Hey, I'm glad you made it out of the woods. Onto Isle Cross and fame, right?"
Yeah. Of course.
All right, folks. I'm gonna
She'll
wait.
she'll try very hard not to tense when Calamity touches her.
Yeah. Okay. Calamity looks at you when she does it, right? Like after you kind of don't tense, but there you have that thing, and she goes, "You okay, Essie?"
Fine for now.
All right. Cool. Well, I'm off to breakfast. Anybody coming?
Lead the way.
Yes, right behind you.
I'll be there in a
Right.
minute. I'll stay behind with Essie for a few minutes.
Nice.
I think she would just be finishing up identifying the cold ball.
Yeah. So, this is a strange little ball. It's got a very weird magical aura, right? Like, as opposed to having a particular, enchantment on it, it is like a black hole. It's like a little black hole of divination, right? Like things around it, anyone near this thing or anything near this thing is invisible to divination magic.
Perfect.
Yo, do I get a sense of the range on it? Like, do you have to be huddled around?
It's you can feel the effect, right? Like you think it's a good distance. Like certainly your room, maybe your room and the room over, depending on where you put it.
It's like 30 to 60 feet, I'm thinking. Ish.
Probably under that range, maybe 30 to
Okay.
15.
Okay.
Maybe 30 to 15. It's just
I would do some limit testing. Try to walk around.
yeah. It's hard to tell, right? It's hard to tell, because you have to cast divination spells to kind of figure it out, right? But it itself is like a little black hole of it.
It's going to solve not all. Certainly not all. We got a lot of problems right now. It's going to solve some of our problems. Those witches won't be able to scry on us if we're near this thing.
And one of the reasons that you can't properly understand its properties is that you quite literally can't cast your identify ritual. It doesn't work.
I think this cancels out divination magic entirely.
That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, it is. Although I'm a little miffed it did it to me. I should have superior divination magic.
So we don't have to do anything, it just works?
Seems to be. It seems to be maybe proximity? Maybe? Kit, I don't think you should report before we all have our stuff back.
What do you mean?
What if you go in there and something goes wrong and we can't get to you in time? We don't know.
I have to go. Otherwise, it'll all be pointless. I should have just taken all of the things, and then we'd be enemies of the Thieves Guild, and I don't want to take that risk. I have to do it. It should be safe. I didn't do anything wrong. I did what they asked, and thieves are fair when it comes to those kinds of things.
So all of these items are free game?
That's what they said. There were some pretty tasty looking things that I had to hand over. But that's just part of the gig.
Yeah. Kit, I know you're not in this for the wealth or the fame, but we've got so many people with knives at our backs. I think the only way to get out of it is to make ourselves untouchable.
What do you mean?
Wealth, power, knowledge. We need to make ourselves so powerful, so well known, that they cannot come after us without consequences. I think that's the only way we're going to get out of this.
Who do you mean by they?
Who don't I mean by they? Honestly, I mean, I know we figured out that those hags or witches were one of the folks that are after us, but I feel like the people coming for us are more numerous than the stars in the sky. And I think the only way to protect ourselves is to gain knowledge, gain power, however we need to.
I see, I'm not from your world, but where I come from, it's best to know your place, your limitations. If you try to overstep, it can be deadly.
Kit, I know where my place is. It's at the top. I'm gonna get there so that nobody can touch me.
I'm not sure if that's where my place is.
I think it is. If you're with me, you'll be right there beside me. We just gotta make ourselves into somebody that nobody wants to touch, or else there'll be consequences.
In my experience, I've always found it better to stay under the radar. Those who grow powerful, there's always someone who's wanting to take them out and take their place.
You just always have to be one step ahead. I think I can do it. I think I might have to do it. Just think about it. I know you came with me to get away. But Kit, if we keep running, eventually we're gonna hit a roadblock that we can't run away from. When our backs are against the wall, we're gonna have to choose if we want to keep running or if we want to stand and fight. And I want to have gotten the resources to be able to do that. However, we might need to do that.
I'll think about it. It's a hard concept for me to grasp.
You just think on it for a bit. Why don't just think on it and then come down in a second.
Okay. I'll see you in a bit.
All right. She'll stand up, kind of like it's hard for her. She looks like she's struggling a little bit, and she'll just gather her stuff, put them in the bag of holding, and walk out the door.
You're muted.
You know, I was just talking quietly. Don't worry about it. You join the rest of your companions downstairs, and you have, you start doing breakfast. So there's eggs, there's fresh bread, there's tea, all that stuff, right? Like it's not a bad little deal, and it's a relatively upbeat breakfast. Y'all are tired, but everybody's alive. And no one's terribly injured, right? Like, considering the things that happened, right? It's not bad. A thing that you note, Essie. Oh, where did you leave the ball? Or did you bring it with you?
I think I would have brought it with me. You know what? Nope. Kit is the one who experienced the scrying, so I think I would have left it with her.
Okay. So you leave it there. You leave it there in the room, like maybe in a drawer or something. There.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One thing you did note, of the things Kit dropped out, there were a bunch of really interesting looking tidbits. Some things that looked valuable. Some things that looked valuable. Some things that you're like, what is this? Right? Like there were three little black pearls. Three little black pearls that just seemed like those could be pretty cool.
Those are fancy. I like those.
There was some neat stuff in there, right? Like there was just this old earthenware jug, but it had stuff written in it in a very old language, one you didn't recognize, or a language you didn't recognize. Excuse me. Some cool stuff. Some things that look like they might be jewelry. A plate, right, or a plaque that looks like it's made of a precious metal.
I'm melting that sucker down.
Not gold, though, whatever it is. Say again?
Didn't you say there was like an hourglass or something?
That was in the things that Kit gave back with me. Yeah.
That's for later on, but then maybe between the scenes. But I will take time, like while the rest are out or whoever goes out, I will identify all of those. Take some time. Guess it's Zagran's room. I'm gonna bust open the door. Zagran, I gotta use your space for a little bit. Bear with me.
Okay, cool. All right. That was just out of curiosity. Zagran, Selaeus, anything y'all want to do at breakfast there?
I want to thank Essie. Thank you for bringing him back alive. I know that must have been challenging, but you showed strength.
He did some thinking on his feet, and she'll kind of like it is hard for her to say this, so she'll say, "He saved me once too."
Absolutely a team effort all around. At one point, you were literally carrying me on your back.
Really?
Yeah, for the worst part of it. Well, not the worst part. Just that's a lie. The water was the worst part of it.
Again, thank you. I don't know what I would have done.
She'll flex her muscles, and there's not much there.
Have you tried this? He holds up a lobster tail.
Yes, real good. It don't help with the muscles.
This is fantastic.
Have you never had it before?
Bugs. Interesting.
They are not water bugs, Zagran. That's no.
You've never tried cave beetle. This is very close. Lord Zagran, you have to try this.
I'd be willing to try it out. Cave beetle. Is that native to Xhorhas? Or is that anywhere that there's caves found.
I don't know.
You might be able to find them other places, but it's nothing like the blue cave beetle of Zorhas. We're renowned for our delicacy in cave beetles.
So good.
I'd be willing to try it out. As long as you're also trying it out with me.
Oh, I would never hesitate the chance, and I'll have one of these red water beetles now, and
They're
kind of
not,
like
they're not water beetles. They're not.
kind of just shrug.
Calamity looks, goes, I don't care what you call them. It's delicious. But we pan away over to Kit. So Kit, as you're sitting there, you're taking a minute trying to digest this, right? Like, trying to see, like, you're still a little disturbed by what's happening, your visions. You can feel, now that you're thinking about it, you can feel that presence. That presence that you tried to reach out to, you can feel like a stirring in there. And as you feel it stirring, your eye gets hot again. Suddenly there's a noise on the windowsill. Not rafters, what are they called? Things, shutters, Jesus. Shutters are open, and you look over, and that little raven that you've seen again and again is just sitting there, looking over at you. As you make eye contact, it goes, "Gah!"
What do you want? I'll get up and I'll just slowly start walking towards it. Why are you following me? Go! Get!
You go to shoo it, and it hops into the room and lands over on your bed. The eye is heating up even more. You've got a bit of a headache coming through.
Oh. What are you doing? Is this from you?
It hops closer, like on the bed, like towards you, and just stares at you and caws again a few more times.
I'll just reach my hand out to it slowly.
Yeah. As you do so, it flaps up and lands right on your hand. Standing there, like its claws, not digging in, not hurting, just very gentle. And like you're looking at it, and you look behind it, and you feel something, like some recognition. And suddenly, as your head gets worse, you can see a figure standing behind the raven. This figure is tall. The figure's tall, is hard to see. They've got a hood, a deep hood over their head. You can see a little bit of face. They've got like a bit of scruff, right? No beard, scruff. They've got armor on, like they're wearing a very dark, soft armor. At their side, you see a sword, and dangling around their neck, you see a chain. And on the chain is your key.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
As you look and you reach out, the figure is gone, and you're left just with the little raven. It hops back down on your bed, and it caws at you again. Your headache's getting worse. Like it's starting to get like the room is a little disoriented, and you find that you're having trouble even staying standing.
I'll sit down on the bed, close my eyes. What's happening? What are you doing to me?
You open your eyes again, and you look over at the raven, and it's gone. It's gone. But you do see there where the raven was a small little medallion sitting there. Small little medallion sitting there.
I will pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely. So you grab it. You grab it and you take a look at the medallion. Right, it's a nice fine silver. It's nice fine silver. Give me just 1 second.
Yo, is that your dad?
Oh, I never met my daddy.
We're not in the scene. We don't comment. So So you see the symbol. It's a little medallion, and on it you see a face. See like a face that looks like it's maybe a mask, and around it there is a where its hair should be. It's like there's hair around it, but it looks like kind of the symbol of a bird over top of the face. Can you give me a religion check, please?
Oh, I'm not very good at this. Oh, that's actually not too bad. What's my +2? Okay, great. That's 18.
Yeah, this actually is a really familiar symbol to you. Many of the people that you knew growing up, right, were interred at the local cemetery, and this is a symbol of the Raven Queen, the god of death. And with that, actually, we're gonna finish off for tonight, and we'll rejoin you all next week. We'll rejoin you all next week. Thanks so much for joining us once again. Don't forget to check out our Discord, and we'd love to hear from you. And folks, if you want to talk about stuff between the scenes, you've got a little bit of loose time to work with.
We got a lot to discuss.
So much.
Wow.
All right, everybody have fun. Folks watching,
Sweating.
hope you had fun. Yeah.
We survived.
All right.
We're
Yeah,
alive.
y'all survived.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Yay.
Y'all have a good night.